Okay, hello. I have decided to make a video series about how to play this game, Double Spoiler, a Touhou game which is unlike other Touhou games, other shmups in general. It's quite a weird game, quite a unique game, and unfortunately, even though it is so packed with content, just stuff to do, it's quite neglected, and hopefully maybe this video series will change that. You never know. I'm not expecting much, but it doesn't hurt to try. So I'm Cham Lam, Swedish Touhou player or shmups player. I've been playing for 6.5 years, roughly. So you could say I'm kind of a veteran. I've been playing these games quite seriously. Few of them at least, others not so much. And my recent pet project has been Double Spoiler. I find Double Spoiler very fascinating, riveting, and just incredibly engaging and interesting. Just decided to release some videos to share my passion and love, and to help others out with this very difficult, deep, complex game. Because there's so much to learn just to kind of play the game. My first video actually focusing on how to play the game is going to be about the controls, because unlike other shmups, this photography game is very focused on controls, like just understanding the sheer intricacy of how controls affects the outcome. There's very few shmups that I know of that I could say the same thing about, where there's kind of control focus. Usually in those there's only a few details. I would say Double Spoiler is just incredibly focused on this part of playing, to understand how your inputs, the way you control not just your character, but your camera, especially the crosshairs in the camera, affects what kind of pictures you might get. So Double Spoiler, you could say that it's a sequel to Shoot the Bullet, which came first. Shoot the Bullet is the first photography shooting game. It's very innovative. I have to hand it to Sin for making such incredibly forward-thinking games. No other game out there like Shoot the Bullet, except for now, Double Spoiler. Of course. So if you're still watching this video, you're probably still interested. Probably means you actually played Shoot the Bullet and Double Spoiler. If so, I don't have to go through what they're about. You just take pictures of bosses. You can use the pictures to delete bullets. But more importantly, these are score attack games. They're individual level score attack games, and I find this part of the games so unfairly neglected by so many players that when you take a picture, depending on how good the picture is, you get a higher score for that picture. And once you've taken all of the pictures needed to clear the scene, all of those pictures adds up to your final score for that scene. And there's a lot that goes into a good picture in Double Spoiler. In Shoot the Bullet, less so. Shoot the Bullet was a simpler game, and that's kind of why I'm just making this series about Double Spoiler. It's not gonna be about Shoot the Bullet. I used to play Shoot the Bullet a lot. Might still play it some more in the future, but I've kind of put it behind me. Double Spoiler is where it's at now. Double Spoiler is a lot deeper. There's more to talk about how you play Double Spoiler, I think. Double Spoiler, it's different enough from STB, Shoot the Bullet, that you kind of have to learn them separately, even in basic mechanics and controls. Of course, they also have completely different contents. Double Spoiler, it has more scenes, it's 2 characters, and obviously there's no scene repeats like Double Spoiler has its own stuff. And yeah, like Shoot the Bullet, it came out after Phantasmagoria Flower View, so it has scenes, boss fights with all the bosses from past Windows games, so 6, 7, 8, 9. Double Spoiler, it has 10, 11, and 12. Both games, they also have the bosses from the fighting games that came before, so Suikepu Shoot the Bullet, Tenshin, the Iku for double spoiler. And I may as well say this too, like, I'm the guy of this game, at least in the Western world. Like, the tips I can give you, at least in English, no one else is going to be able to give them to you. Trust me. There's no one else, there's only me. If you're interested in this game, you should listen to me. There might be some other players that might have some tips for you, but like they're not gonna know the kinds of stuff I know. And I'm talking obviously about scoring. Now, if you're only interested in completing this game, you haven't done so already, my video isn't going to be very helpful. Most likely none of my videos are going to be very helpful. You're not going to need to understand the intricacies of controls and mechanics to just complete this game. You can kind of get by on your own. Not gonna need any tutorial videos or information videos about that. So yeah, scoring, that's what I'm talking about. And yeah, there are other highly accomplished players from Asia, but yeah, they're probably not going to be using English videos for you. Here's the leaderboard. You can see Sean, I'm at the top here quite a bit. So there's a lot of other accomplished players here, like T1100, amazing player. And all these other ones. Pisti, CKT. There's also some that don't submit or remove their scores from Aya player. I don't know that many of them. I do know a few. Like Missouri, who had a lot of records in the Iku scenes. These scores. I'm not sure why they would remove them. Who am I to judge? Maybe they just don't give a shit about Touhou anymore. Yeah. So yeah, scoring related videos. I'm going to tell you how to play double spoiler like a pro, or you know, so-called super player in meme speak. Little by little, if you stick with me, you'll know the ins and outs. I can't stress enough how crucial it is to just understand the basics when you're getting into scoring double spoiler, and that the basics are not obvious. Like the basics, if you just approach this game yourself, it might take hundreds of hours for you to just get the basics down with no one to tell you. At least I can tell you my experience were kind of like that. Even though I had played so much Shoot the Bullet before double spoiler. So even if your aspirations aren't as high as mine, trust me, my videos will help you to play better. Not necessarily like a super player right away, obviously, but like they're gonna help you get started. And let me also just say this, I really love STGs, or shooting games as you call them. Like this video, the Shoot the Bullet music. Shmups, as we call them. And I was playing around with a whole bunch of them. Sometimes playing for score, usually at a lower level. You know, just kind of working my way up. Doing what feels interesting or engaging or fulfilling at the time. Never really staying with one game for a longer time, like a more long-lasting period of time. Were some games that I put a decent amount of time into. UFO, Touhou 12, Touhou 6, and Environmental Skirt Devil, both the Phantasmagoria games. Kind of Shoot the Bullets, isn't too serious about it. Some arcade shmups like Batrider, I played that quite a bit too. Playing this for score, and you know, also I kind of playing all of these a lot, kind of when I was beginning to not good enough to play for score yet, still. So I really love these kinds of games in general, and double spoiler is very special to me. I would say, along with Great Fairy Wars, these two games are probably my two favorite games of all time. I'm starting to lean more towards double spoiler, but I don't know, both games, they have a lot going for them. And you know, these Touhou games I've specialized in their double spoiler, Shoot the Bullet, Great Fairy Wars. They're kind of neglected. They're not the main games, they're side games, so a lot of people, they just play the main games, you know, they don't really care about the side games, they never even think to try them out, maybe. Or they just don't take it too seriously when they do. These side games, they naturally, I would say, they don't have quite as much competition as the main games. Although Shoot the Bullet is maybe the biggest exception, probably because it was so new, when it came out. Photography shmup. A lot of people tried it out. So Shoot the Bullet was pretty competitive. Double Spoiler, there's not too many high-level players in it, and most of them they're not too most of them just focus on a few scenes maybe. And Great Fairy Wars as well. There's a couple of players, there's some competition, but before I came in, I would say the most competitive players, they were just playing one category or two of them, which is that's still competitive for that one category. There weren't that many of these high-level players. So these games, I love them. They could certainly stand to have more players. So my hope is that with these double spoiler videos I'm gonna make, maybe some more people are gonna get interested in double spoiler. All right. As you can see, I have a lot of time on this game, more than the time you see there in the upper corner, 748 hours. But I have more than that. The way this game counts time is kind of flawed, I guess. And I've also played Shoot the Bullet and Great Fairy Wars, even more than this game, especially Shoot the Bullet, I think. Let's just play some, clips, replays, just to kind of show the. Let's just play something. There's kind of a bug where it shows Aya instead of Hatate the first time you open the replay again. Just show some clips while I talk, just to kind of show what double spoiler scoring looks like. Obviously, this game, photography game, has a lot of different scenes, so much different content. So in each one, you're gonna do something completely different. That's just one of those really interesting things about this game. So this scene, there's no other scene like this scene. Every scene is like that. They're all different. So how did I start playing double spoiler? I think I should first mention, I was playing shmups, mostly Touhou, but also some other shmups, like arcade shmups and stuff, for years. Kind of playing around, playing for score, playing for survival, just kind of doing whatever, until 2014. In 2014, I started playing Shoot the Bullet. I had already played it quite a bit before, like doing some low-level scoring, and obviously completed the game and everything. I got into it again, and this time I got way more into a shmup than I've ever done before. So I started playing Shoot the Bullet, score, like crazy, like a full shmup. I was playing at most, there were times I was playing, 10 hours a day for a long time. For the most part, I was playing at least like 5-6 hours a day. There were a few like days or weeks where I would take a break, but like a lot of 2014 was like the year of Shoot the Bullet, and that really got me started on this, like kind of going all in on a game. That was the first time. And Shoot the Bullet, it's a photography game, just like Double Spoiler. So it's kind of, you can see it kind of eased me into Double Spoiler, because Double Spoiler is much more complex, harder game than Shoot the Bullet you can score. So you don't have to do the same. You don't have to start Shoot the Bullet, Double Spoiler. I mean, if you don't want to, but I would say it helped me a great deal to kind of do as well as I've done in Double Spoiler. I've been very fast progress in Double Spoiler. Not only thanks to the fundamental skills you build that are so necessary to play this incredibly difficult game. You need very good like movement ability, dodging ability, timing ability, everything you can think of. It's required of you, the precision, complex reading, precise timing, precise movements, complex thinking. All of it like going to be totally crazy in this game. Of course, not every scene is incredibly hard. Some scenes are a bit easier, but even the easier scenes in this game might be kind of unapproachable until you learn the basics, right? So 2014, that was the year of Shoot the Bullet for me, and I had never actually really played Double Spoiler at that time. I only finished Double Spoiler after I had spent an incredibly long time scoring Shoot the Bullet, and I never really liked double spoiler that much. Even when I started scoring in double spoiler, I kind of didn't feel it. Like, there were things I didn't like about it. It's very unfair games. It's very demanding and very random, and more so than Shoot the Bullet, it is unfair and it can be very tedious. Double spoiler, it has, although I think I kind of had bad luck with which scenes I checked out at first. Double spoiler has a lot of scenes where you're forced to storm, more so than Shoot the Bullet does. However, even though it is so unfair, so difficult, so deep and all that, the varied content, double spoiler, it can fit a variety of skill levels because there's so much room for playstyles, so much room to do your own thing. You don't have to be a pro. You can just do. There's a lot of room to do what you want, and since the game has so many different scenes, you're only playing one scene at a time. If you don't feel ready for a really hard scene, you could play a scene that fits you. Or if you want to, you could play a hard scene, and that hard scene, you don't have to do the absolute hardest strategies in that. Yeah. Let's just, I mean, I'm playing this clip right now. Let's just kind of talk a little bit about what's happening here. Well, you can see when this kind of electric current ring shows up around her. Like that. That means that's a nice shot. So the nice shot, that's one of the multipliers in the double spoiler that increases your score. So the best nice shot, the best timing, gives you a 1.5 multiplier to all your base values and bonuses. And it's not too hard to get a 1.5. It's not frame perfect. There's a few frames window to get a 1.5. But after that, each frame you take, it's gonna shrink more and more the multiplier until it gradually disappears. Let's show one more clip. Let's show, yeah, this one. I think this is kind of a this category 9-1 with Aya. Well, 9-1 with either character really kind of showcases kind of a lot of the things I like about this game. So it starts out many different phases, right? So it starts out kind of like a memorization thing. You move up here, take a nice shot there. And here, this is kind of hard to learn. Kind of can't do it consistently. So at a certain time, you move to the left, you start moving up, and then you stop, and then you start pressing shift. That's to realign the camera, which is a really important technique with Aya. And once you press shift, focus, move up, take the picture, and it syncs up correctly with the nice shot time. And I can also aim the picture upright, which is do that to center subtly better. And if I do it just the right amount, I just barely get a 2-shot. If you look in the bottom left, although it's kind of hard to see, Aya is kind of inside of the bubble. You can see Aya is just barely inside of this picture. And that is important. If Aya's feet are cut off, if any part of Aya is cut off, you don't get the 2-shot multiplier, which is also crucial. All these multipliers are crucial, right? It's like the backbone of your score is that you get the multipliers right. And then once you have all the multipliers right, then you can start thinking about your bonuses based on it. Once you've taken this photo, can I just do some dodging, kind of some waiting for the third photo? So the specific timing to right here, it's a specific timing when you can move through these bullets. Let's wait. Now, so look closely here. Those bullets right in front of her now, they just spawn and kind of move around her. And now, right behind her, 2 new bullets spawn. So you have to kind of move in between that window there. Very tight timing. And then you stop, and nice shot is coming up. Right now is the nice shot. So now, let's go. Max multipliers everywhere. Next phase is a bit more difficult. Have to wait for Only every other wave she will do in a nice shot, so this is a wave she will do in a nice shot. So now I prepare by lining up. Right, so you can see where Satoru is. You can see my position in relationship to her right now. Kind of something you have to learn, because she's not going to be in the same place every time. Stop and wait for these red. You can also use the right side if you want, but I will use the left one. Wait for these red bullets, and when these red bullets get close enough to you, then you move upright. You have to start by charging. Okay, like this is part of the controls. I will talk about those in the next video. You have to start by charging, not focusing, not unfocusing. That would ruin the picture. Start by charging, then move up focusing, and then once you move up focusing upright for a long enough time, this, then you unfocus, dash up as fast as you can. This is going to line up perfectly. Right now, I'm so close to dying right now. I'm inside all these bullets. So close. Aim up. Let go. Now see, she just did the nice shot. So I got a max nice shot, and I aimed up as much as I could to get Satoru as close to the middle of the picture as I could, without getting Aya cut out of the picture. So that requires you to be as close to dying as possible, to time the picture just right, and to aim up just the right amount. It's very hard, all this. It took a very long time to kind of perfect this technique. In fact, it's so hard. My next picture, where you have to do the same thing again, is going to be much worse. Even though I didn't do it that bad, I still dropped a lot of score, because it's just that precise and demanding. Let's speed up a bit until that part comes. Unfortunately, as long as Satoru is close to the side of the screen, you can't do it correctly. See, this one wasn't that good. And then this last phase, which is on the surface, might seem less hard, but it's actually the hardest phase. This phase is quite random. Ah, man, yeah, this phase gave me nightmares. So I actually took a really bad picture. And you can see I oriented it vertically instead of horizontally, which is bad for score, but due to the nature of the scene, doing it horizontally is incredibly hard while still getting nice shot. But I actually managed to do it there on the 7th picture. Somehow. It was my first time ever making it. I usually don't even try. But because this one wasn't going as well as I wanted to meet my goal, I actually took an incredibly hard picture there, and I'm gonna go for another one like that. Much harder than it appears. That's just kind of double spoiler in a nutshell. Anything in double spoiler, no matter how hard or easy you think it looks, it's always, until you're so used to this game that you realize how hard it is, it's always going to be much harder than it looks. A lot of shmups, they're easier than they look. Some shmups are harder than they look. This one is much harder than it looks. One of the parts of that is the hitboxes for all these bullets and for the bosses, bigger than past Touhou games. These big round bullets, they have circle hitboxes that are much bigger than earlier Touhou games, which had square hitboxes and much smaller. I believe these big circle hitboxes, they're the same in later Touhou games like LOLK and ISC, also have horrible hitboxes, the same as double spoilers. So it's yeah, it's really hard here. She does the nice shot so rarely, and I have to get really close and just kind of get myself in the picture and the nice shot and something like that. Yeah, I really like the scene. It kind of exemplifies double spoiler for me. So now that you've seen that 9-1, kind of talked a little bit about it without going into specific, like, why does this work, why is this good. If you're still interested, I'm going to release more specific videos later. I'm going to share tricks and techniques to play in general, talk about how the mechanics and scoring system works, and then release videos showing how to play and sharing information about specific categories, like categories that I feel like I know pretty well or can explain. I say category because the same scene can be played with two different characters, Aya and Hatate. There's more and more characters. Yeah, Shoot the Bullet only had Aya, this one has Hatate as well. They both play totally differently. Although sometimes they have pretty much the same strategy, but the controls are still a bit different, so the approach can be a bit different. So my next video is going to be about how to control your character, like how to control your camera, how to control your crosshairs, how to use this how to control to your advantage when you try to go for high pictures, when you try to keep your score. And hopefully, I'll keep making videos. I'm also going to talk about mechanics after that. Once you have, that's like the bread and butter, once you have the controls and the mechanics down, then you will understand much better, like, oh, that's why they do the scene like that, or that's why this picture is so much better than when I try to do it, or that's why I accidentally bend this picture, or if there's so many beginner's traps in this game. With my information, you will find you will avoid these traps much easier. Right. That turned out a bit longer than expected it to. So hopefully I didn't lose literally every person clicking on this video. But either way, this video is just an introduction. I don't care too much if people watch this. Next video I'm going to be more concrete, go into the details of controls. Thanks for watching. Love double spoiler. After watching my videos, hopefully you will try it out and do the same. This game rules. Goodbye.